Nobody once told me.
Okay, this is gonna be a real one here. How long has it been since I've been on my own? And of course, it was a rhetorical question, but I figured it out. It was when I reviewed Schoolhouse Rock, and, well, it was worth it. But in this case, Shrek Forever After, yeah, when it was first released, and I generally liked it. I enjoyed everything about it. People may have their, mixed feelings about it, but I still hold it to be one of the best Shrek movies, and the best sequels ever. Because when you go to a fourth sequel, it gets a little testy. We all know what happened with 3, and we want to forget that it came into existence, because it could have just stopped at a good, decent third movie, but, well, it just shied away from everything, and everybody just hated it. But for how I go with the Shrek movies, I go, here it is. 4th is first, 2nd is second, first is 3rd, and, well, we want to forget about the 3rd one again. But I would have to say Shrek Forever After would have to be the most emotional one, and I'll explain further on because, well, it's a bit of a shocker to us all. And so here's how it goes. Just once upon a time, blah blah blah, the story told by an unknown voice. The king and queen are desperate to lift Fiona's curse of turning into an ogre at night. So they meet Rumpelstiltskin in order to make this deal. They're about to sign up until someone has saved Fiona, and that somebody is, of course, Shrek, recapping everything that we already know from the first movie. So Rumpelstiltskin is just really ticked off that his destiny is just ruined, and he wishes that Shrek had never been born. So he waits to deliver just that, his vengeance. And so we see Shrek trying to enjoy the life of becoming a father and a husband, and it starts to really gradually just make him go to a midlife crisis, long for the life that he used to live until he found Fiona. And, well, maybe, and I like how it just goes like that, how it gradually just starts to pick up with him. Like the first night when Puss was telling the story, he seemed very cool and everything. But then the second morning, he starts to get a little bit concerned, and then the final night, he's not really feeling it no more. And so when he gets up at night and then just really, really wishes that he just wants to have that solitary life back. And it's really relatable because I'm pretty sure anybody grown up would have to just miss everything that they've been through from the past. And heck, I relate to that too, every single day, because I rely on memories in order to just remember. I use it as a little bit of a what's it called? A coping mechanism. Yes, a coping mechanism to just keep me going throughout life. Let my memories let me go further on in life as possible. And so the next day is the baby's first birthday, and Shrek is also getting fed up by being loved by the villagers rather than being hated. And then there's some calamity here and there when it comes to cake, and the boy fan wanted them to do the roar. And then when some more calamity comes in around, he just can't hold it anymore, and Shrek just bellows out his guts and just damages the cake, which is freaking brutal. It's real cold to do something to your kids, especially on their first birthday. And so Fiona and Shrek then have a talk about how it's going for Shrek so far, and once again really wishes for the life back when the world made sense, in his words. And and Rumple, of course, being part of that scene, he takes that advantage. He takes him along and tricks him into just taking that, just having the one true day to feel like a real ogre again. He enjoys the simple life of it, but up until everything is not what it seems. with Fiona now being wanted and his swamp home gone. So he's been taken to like Rumpelstiltskin's castle, where he's made to be the ruler of Far, Far Away now. And well, he does encounter his friends, but it does get a little bit just testy. But how he won over with Donkey was how he showed some vulnerability when it came to him crying for the first time ever. Which, let me be honest, I honestly didn't really notice that tear while I was watching. I just only thought like Donkey just said that when he was about to cry, when he was just literally crying. But that was just me. And so, like all it is just for him to just try to just recap everything. Meaning to just remind people that he is the way he's still him, and it's everyone else that needs to just get that. So up until when he goes into like the land of rebellion ogres, it seemed like a little bit interesting seeing Fiona being this warrior goddess in charge, taking part of freedom for ogres and everything, getting ready for the big battle, so to speak. Shrek does everything that he can to just try to get Fiona to just remember who he is, but it's like every single time it's just rejected up until they start sparring and they start to have a little bit of a connection. And well, what else can you do? You just try and you try, but it just never really goes so well. Especially when Fiona like reminds him about being trapped into that tower, waiting for someone who never came, and all those tally marks. That's just some really deep stuff. You just can't really take no more until you get free yourself out, and well, there you go. You have a chance to just do what it is that you want for yourself. And as Rumpelstiltskin just awards people with a deal of a lifetime, because the same thing that he did with Shrek, but in order for him to just have Shrek be captured, Shrek himself gives himself up and frees all the other ogres, except for Fiona, who isn't completely ogre, which is like one of my favorite parts I will discuss later. And the climactic battle, which, well, it's really cool to see. And so while everyone thinks that they have won, Shrek's time is up, and it was a very, very sweet moment for him to just tell Fiona about how it is for them, about how good of a family they have, how good of a life they have together, and the chance and that one opportunity from that day to fall in love all over again, which is honestly really challenging, because when you do something once, then that's like making history. But if you do something again, you might not know how it will turn out. That's some like Back to the Future stuff right there. And so then like the world starts to break apart and Rumpelstiltskin loses again, and back at the party everything seems to be just the way it is, and Shrek starts to just accept what he has, and that's all that is. That's all the moral of the movie, which anybody can relate to. Be happy with what you already have instead of what you don't have. So now I go to my personal favorite parts. The first is when Shrek has his day to be a real ogre again. It's a nice little montage, but to be honest, I never really kind of liked the song playing, so I just give it a little bit of a slide. And of course, another one would be the Pied Piper playing Shake Your Groove thing with the ogres all dancing. I remember me and my sister always used to just follow the choreography because it's just that awesome looking. Let's see, another favorite parts. Let's see. Well, what else? What else other than the ending? The ending showing all the memorable scenes from the other Shrek movies with a song, Once in My Life by Stevie Wonder. That's just the most wholesome thing that I've ever seen in the Shrek franchise. I just can't get enough of that song. That song just makes me feel just alive. It gets me just happy. It makes me just good memories and everything. Also, I would say, like, seeing all the other ogres, it was very nice. It kind of like gave me some Ice Age 2 vibes, where it's revealed that Manny and Ellie aren't really the last mammoths anymore. And it was also kind of weird how Shrek is considered tiny compared to the other ogres, since he's supposed to be like 7 foot something, but they might be like over 7 feet, which is still 7 feet, but still, it's just a little bit weird. With the cast, yeah, everybody seems great. No, wait, what am I saying about seems? Everybody has always been great, but we see some new faces, like Rumpelstiltskin played by Walt Dorn, who I was surprised that worked on many different episodes of SpongeBob. And what I do remember is somebody noting that he's like a perfect combination of all the other Shrek villains, with Lord Farquaad, because he's short, Fairy Godmother because he's supposed to be magic, and Prince Charming because he wants to get revenge on Shrek. That's really clever. And let's see, other different ones. Craig Robinson as Cookie. One of my personal introductions to him. He's a funny dude. And Jane Lynch. Well, yeah, I had no idea that she was in this movie because like her using this kind of like a different voice in my opinion, but it's still so surprising. And let's see other different ones. Kristen Shaw, yeah. Because I'm gonna be honest, I honestly thought that she only played one witch, but it turns out that yeah, she played both the Pumpkin Witch and the Palace Witch. The more you know, I guess. And let's see other different faces. Let's see here. Let's see, yeah, Lake Bell, who I got to know as Poison Ivy later on. Yeah, Kathy Griffin. But, yeah, of course, with the Shrek franchise, this has one of the most ensemble casts that you could ever want. And my final thoughts, well, as much as I did say everything about my opinions, but the real one, the number one thing is, of course, Shrek Forever After being the number one movie that I always think of every time when I hear 2010. It's the top movie that just gives me the most memories from that year. And once again, it just especially came from the end credits, the Stevie Wonder song. I just really can't get enough of that. That's why I just love it so much. Why I remember it more than any other Shrek movies. Because even though I do like the sequel, Shrek 2, I just rarely watch it, but it was my introduction to the freaking franchise as a whole. But once again, just the fourth one is just number one in my book. And that's alright. And, well, it's only a matter of time until I watch it soon to just get the old memories flowing, because that's just kind of guy I am. It's nothing much but a solid 100.